introduced myself yet. My name is Megan Glickman, and I'm the Pennsylvania Training Director. I am so proud that Philly has been my home for 7 years and counting. I'm gonna get a little personal. My bottom line is turning Pennsylvania blue this year, and here's why. 5 years ago, my mom died from brain cancer. At the same time that my mom was sick, I was working for Enroll America, Pennsylvania, where we were connecting Pennsylvanians to the health insurance options made possible by the Affordable Care Act, or Obamacare. Every single day, I was reminded how important it is that Americans have insurance and that they can use it to get the care that they need. The ACA is at stake now, and Pennsylvanians cannot afford to lose their coverage. With health insurance, cancer doesn't always have to be a death sentence, and I am fighting every single day to defeat Trump and his policies to ensure that the ACA is not dismantled and that we will have a president who will marshal resources to find a cure for cancer in my lifetime. I know that we can do it. In short, I am passionate about Pennsylvania, and I want you to love this Commonwealth as much as I do. You've adopted us, and you are officially part of Team PA. Team PA is PA-mazing, and together we are going to do incredible things this summer and fall. Remember, Pennsylvania has 20 critical electoral votes that the candidate needs to win. And we know that the key to 270 is in the Keystone State. Thank you so much for being here for the third of this 4-part training series for Vote Save America's Adopt a State partnership with Organizing Together 2020. I want to highlight the voices that you are going to hear tonight. We've got Ashley Mcbride, our Pennsylvania State Director, Alfred Aze, our Pennsylvania Organizing Director, and Anna Carlson-Ziegler, our Pennsylvania Training Associate. You'll hear from all of them throughout the night. I know you all came here to hear from someone else as well. John Lovett is joining us later tonight. John is going to hop on towards the end of the call, chat with some of our organizers, and even record a quick segment for his pod, Love It or Leave It. John Lovett is a former presidential speechwriter, as well as a TV writer, podcast host, and straight shooter, widely respected on both sides. After starting a feud with the entire state of Pennsylvania in 2018, Lovett is now working hard to make sure his adopted state turns blue this November. We're so excited to have him. We also have dozens of incredible partners in Pennsylvania who are going to keep working hard through November. We are all working together to create a more progressive Pennsylvania and bring back the blue. Some of our partners that you see here might include the NEA, SEIU, Supermajority, Color of Change, Arena, and Indivisible, just to name a few. All right, people, let's get going in the chat boxes and on Facebook. You had 6 states to choose from, but obviously you chose the best one. And just FYI, Pennsylvania is technically a Commonwealth. Pennsylvania is where the Constitution was signed. We are the home of Benjamin Franklin, Rocky Balboa, cheesesteaks, tasty cakes. We say Yins and John. We love the Steelers and the Eagles. Mostly though, we love that we have 20 important electoral votes. Take a moment and share in the chat box and on Facebook why you chose Pennsylvania. My partner in crime in all things training, Anna, is also going to share out some of your responses.
Oh my goodness, you guys are so excited. A lot of folks have family in Pennsylvania or friends or used to live there. I love that. We have Victoria says this is where we're going to win in 2020, and you are right, Victoria. People love the state. Oh, so much enthusiasm. This is lovely, everyone. Thank you. I'll send it back to you, Megan.
Thanks, Anna. Over the past few months, our organizers and regionals have recruited and trained thousands of volunteers like you in battleground states, and those volunteers have already talked to hundreds of thousands of Americans about the issues at stake this year. Organizers and regionals are at the heart of any campaign and movement, and this week we'll be introducing you to some of the staff on the ground in Pennsylvania. They are the ones leading the fight to stop Donald Trump and his agenda. So we want to make sure that you meet them. Please give them some love.
Hey everyone, it's so amazing to see all of your lovely faces. My name is Tharoon and I'm the Regional Organizing Director for Western Pennsylvania from Erie down to Washington County, and I'm organizing in Pennsylvania to make sure all marginalized voices in Pennsylvania and across this country are heard, especially rural voices and immigrant voices like my own family. So thank you so much for being here today, and thank you for joining our fight.
Howdy, folks. My name is Kirk, and I am organizing here in Beaver County. And I started organizing after Donald Trump, Mitch McConnell, and the Republican leadership made a mockery of the impeachment process. So I've got my little constitution, and I'm here to help reestablish the rule of law in America once again.
Hi, everyone. My name is Eric. I'm an organizer in Allegheny County. I grew up across the street from my grandparents who took care of my brother and I growing up. And so I am fighting for affordable childcare for everyone out there. Good to see you all.
Hi, everybody. My name is Carly, and I am the Regional Organizing Director in Central Pennsylvania. I am so excited that you all are here with us today. I got into organizing to defeat Donald Trump, but I'm staying in organizing to uplift the rural voices.
Hi everyone, my name is Susan. I'm a field organizer in Dauphin County, the Harrisburg area. I became a field organizer because I think democracy is not a spectator sport, and every Pennsylvania deserves to have their voice heard in the ballot box.
Hi everyone, I'm Danny and I organize in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. And I became an organizer because I don't want to feel the same way I did at the end of 2016. And I want to live in a world where our government can and tries to solve our problems.
Hi everyone, my name is Rachel. I'm an organizer in some great rural counties in central Pennsylvania, and I organize because I want a better future world for the children.
Hey everyone, my name is Reneem. Thank you all for joining us today. I am organizing in northeastern Pennsylvania because I'm from Sudan. I'm an immigrant from Sudan, a country that's been run by a few dictatorships. We just overthrew a dictator of 30 years last year. And Donald Trump has a lot in common with him. And so I'm in this fight to restore our democracy.
Hello, my name is Nick Casas. I'm a regional organizing director for Chester and Delaware counties in PA, and I am organizing because I want to solidify my place in history as somebody who fights against fascism.
Hi everyone, my name is Ife. I'm a local organizer with Chester and Delco, and I'm organizing to ensure that young people like me have access to a higher education for an affordable price because it's our right, just like everyone else should.
Thank you, organizers. They're going to be hanging out in the chat box on Zoom and Facebook all night, so feel free to connect with them and ask questions. We are so impressed with all of your enthusiasm for Pennsylvania and how hard you've worked on your personal stories to recruit more friends and family. Tonight, we're going to dig into PA and share what makes our state unique for the 2020 election and how Pennsylvanians will register to vote as well as vote by mail this year. And now I am thrilled to pass it over to someone who is a highly experienced strategist and organizer, our Pennsylvania State Director, Ashley Mcbride.
Let's jump right in. Thank you so much, Megan. First, I want to share how proud I am of our team. In just 4 months, Team PA has recruited 7,822 volunteers who've helped to make 23,052 voters vote by mail. This is what grassroots movement to defeat Donald Trump looks like. The recent events of systematic violence against African Americans are heartbreaking, but they are not new. As progressives, allies, and fellow Americans, we're committed to the difficult work of fixing the short-term and long-term racial inequalities plaguing our community. The changes we seek will not magically become reality at the ballot box. They come from committed organizing and allyship in every area across the country in the months and years to come. We need to make sure that our most vulnerable communities can raise their voices in November. It's going to take all of us working together to do that. You've taken a great step by adopting PA. I would ask you to join me for the long haul. In 2016, Donald Trump won the state by 44,292 votes. Those votes are a margin of 1% and the narrowest margin in presidential election history for the state in 176 years. He carried 56 out of the 67 counties. So with Michigan and Wisconsin, we're one of 3 states that took this election for Trump. So we know we have to work super hard because Pennsylvania is crucial to the fight to defeat Donald Trump and his policies. There are a few things that are key to know about voting in Pennsylvania. The general election is held on Tuesday, November the 3rd. The deadline to register to vote is Monday, October the 19th. Back in November of 2019, Pennsylvania passed a new law so that anybody can vote by mail if they send in an application and make this request. The deadline to register to vote by mail is October the 27th at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Another key point, voters who are voting for the first time in their district must show an ID. You can always learn more information at votespa.com. We know that voting by mail is going to be crucial this year, and we've already got to try out voting by mail in the primary earlier this month. I'm so grateful to have you all on board in this fight to get everyone in our state voting by mail.
Thank you so much, Ashley. We're going to hear from you again later. We also have one more regional to introduce tonight.
Hey y'all, sorry that I missed my turn there, but I'm really excited to welcome you all to Team PA. My name's Jana. I'm the Regional Organizing Director for the Philly area, and that's where I've lived for the past 6 years or so. I organize because I believe that working people united and empowered are going to be the way that we defeat Donald Trump and also continue to win progressive change in this country moving forward. So welcome all of you, excited to see you.
Thanks so much, Jana. We got so much Philly love going on here. All right, let's get into this training. Our training associate, Anna Carlson-Ziegler, is here to teach you how the vote by mail magic happens in Pennsylvania.
Hey everybody, it's so good to be here, and I am very excited to talk with you all a little bit more about vote by mail, which, as you know, is going to be essential to defeating Donald Trump this year. We are going to have a little bit of more technical information here, so please stick with us. I promise it's important, and we know we're going to have a couple of special guests at the end, so it'll be worth it. As volunteers in Pennsylvania, you know, I'll just give it to you straight. You're going to be part of history. You're part of Pennsylvania defeating Donald Trump and his policies this November. You're also part of the first ever effort to register Pennsylvania voters to vote by mail for the general election. And you're going to make sure they actually follow through and do it. So I hope I'm being super clear. This is a big deal. We are so excited and so grateful to have you. I want to talk a little bit about mail in Pennsylvania. In short, we love it. In fact, Pennsylvania's own Benjamin Franklin was actually the person who organized America's first public postal service. Here's the photographic evidence for you. And like I said, this is the first time we've had vote by mail, so we're very excited. As a bit of a side note, I have been receiving a lot of mail in quarantine. I would say online shopping is my main coping mechanism. I'd love to hear what you all have been getting in the mail and if there's anything exciting, anything that's kind of brightened your days up recently. I'll read some out from the chat box. Oh my goodness, this is so exciting. You guys are moving fast. I'm seeing somebody got a candle. We love to see that. Somebody got some soap. Okay, we're taking care of ourselves. Oh my gosh. Oh, this is so exciting. I love this. So good. Some people are getting notes from friends. Yeah, true. Got to stay connected. Well, thank you all for sharing. I want to talk a little bit more about, the mail that Pennsylvania voters are going to be getting, which is their ballots. We're going to work really, really hard over the next couple months to make sure that folks can get their vote by mail ballots. And so I want to make sure we're all on the same page about why we're actually doing this. As you all might have heard, studies have shown that vote by mail application generation is by far one of the most efficient and cost-effective ways to get votes in the field. Vote by mail increases turnout pretty dramatically. And that's really great because it also means that vote by mail lets more people vote and it lets more people vote early. So because more people are starting to vote early on, we can reach out to more and more folks over the course of the election season. And given everything that's happening these days, we also were really excited because vote by mail is by far the simplest and safest and healthiest way for Pennsylvanians to cast their ballots this year. However, even though we're super excited about increased turnout and all that good stuff, I want to be clear that vote by mail is not an absolutely perfect system. No matter what state or what place you're in, you see some limitations to vote by mail. So let's talk about them. First, I think, is mail delivery. So mail delivery is unfortunately not uniform across the nation. For example, in rural areas, people might have extra difficulty with mail elections. So not everybody has street addresses. Some people share PO boxes, which can be confusing when we think about ballot delivery. I also know that cost of postage can be an obstacle. So that's something we want to be really mindful about. Even though it's a small cost, this can still be a concern for people, and it's just one more obstacle to folks getting those ballots turned in. Also, literacy is a really important barrier to talk about. Most election materials, whether it's your mail ballot or the stuff you have to read when you're at your polling place, a lot of those materials are written at a college level. And in Pennsylvania, we typically only have election materials in English and Spanish. So folks who speak other languages can't always easily or automatically get their hands on the materials that they need. And last but not least, I'm sure we've all heard the conversation about this. Some communities are distrustful about ballot security. We know that vote by mail is a super secure process. Some states like Washington, where I'm from, have done it for years and we love it and we find it really easy. But since it's the first time in Pennsylvania, you're likely to encounter some misconceptions when you're talking to voters. So just be ready for that. I also want to talk about some of the specific issues in Pennsylvania. So like we've said, voting by mail is brand new here. We just did it for like the first time ever in our primary. And it went okay. I think this Philadelphia Inquirer article kind of illustrates that there's just a whole bunch of demand. So Philadelphia voters have already requested more mail-in ballots than all of Pennsylvania did in 2016. So that's very exciting because it means people are using this system. It also means we have our work cut out for us. In Pennsylvania, unlike in some other places, the vote by mail process is actually managed by county and not the state. So as you can imagine, some counties are proactive and effective. Some counties are a little bit less so. For example, some counties are going to offer paid postage and others aren't going to. Some counties are really in sync with the mail delivery system and others kind of aren't. Some counties are changing and closing poll locations due to COVID, and others are keeping the same polls that they've had for years. Luckily, we have activists and advocates all across the state who are working super hard to improve this process before November. And actually, a couple weeks ago, the night before our primary election, Governor Wolf extended the deadline to return mail-in ballots, and this allowed a whole bunch more folks to have their voices heard. So we hope that this will be the case in November, but regardless, we have to get ready right now. It's going to be your job over the next couple months to guide voters with up-to-date information to be helpful and to make them make good, safe choices in a pandemic. So certainly we have our work cut out for us, but I'm excited because we have a super strong team, and luckily we have the perfect person who's here to help us understand actually how we're going to get this work done. I want to introduce our organizing director, Alfred, who's here to discuss how exactly y'all are going to help us get millions of Pennsylvanians to vote by mail. Alfred, I'll throw it over to you.
Thank you so much, Anna. And thank you to everyone on the training tonight, whether you're in the Zoom room, you're watching on Facebook. Thank you so much for being a part of this. Let's talk about how we actually get this work done. So here in PA, we, Organizing Together, ran a vote by mail program And we have found that it is really helpful to break up a vote by mail program into a couple different phases. And you can see those on your screen right now. The first phase, as you can see on the left side there, is the application generation phase. So we need to get the word out about vote by mail, right? We need to generate applications to the vote by mail program. And we do that by phone banking, by email, text, mail, USPS. It is so important that we get as many folks as possible applied for vote by mail on the front end. That's the first phase. As many VBM applications as we can, critical. That second phase you see there, application chase, is the point where we're going to follow up with the folks who said that they wanted to apply, that they wanted to vote by mail, they haven't returned their application yet. And you might notice the big plus sign kind of in between those two phases, in between generation and chase. That's because even as we remind folks to return their vote by mail application, we can still be generating more, right? Like I said, as many Pennsylvanians signed up for vote by mail as possible. So we start with application generation, we move to the application chase phase, and we're still generating more VBM applications when we do that. And then ultimately, the most exciting phase, in my mind at least, is the ballot chase phase. That is when the PA Department of State has mailed out all the actual ballots, and we can bank votes. That's when you walk into a phone bank and you are able to actually talk with folks that have a ballot in their hand. So the ballot chase phase is critical. That's when we follow up with everybody again and make sure that they have a plan to return their vote by mail ballot, or if they're unable to do so by the deadline, that at least they can make a plan to vote in person safely. So we can start getting out the vote as soon as ballots are mailed out. And you might be asking yourself, well, like where do I come in, right? How can I help? We need your help, absolutely. We're going to be calling voters. We're going to be texting voters. You know, when it's safe to do in-person voter registration and in-person vote by mail application, we want to be doing that too. And one thing to remember is that we need a heck of a lot of volunteer power to reach all the voters that we need to reach and get them signed up for vote by mail, right? Another thing to remember, vote by mail is kind of new in Pennsylvania. So we need to get folks comfortable with vote by mail. Make sure that their registration is up to date, right? We're going to make phone calls, we're going to send texts, we're going to send emails, we're going to talk to folks, a multitude of mediums, and all of it adds up to PA going blue in November. This focused voter contact is really effective, to be honest. People actually like hearing about vote by mail. They like getting this information. If you're looking for some evidence to that, we have some to point to from our own vote by mail program. We ran that from March through the Pennsylvania primary, which was on June 2nd. And as Ashley mentioned earlier, our team helped 23,052 Pennsylvania voters vote by mail. So these strategies work. Generating applications, chasing them, and chasing those ballots. You don't need to memorize like all of these deadlines. We've given you a lot of information, right? No worries about that. We have plenty of resources to help. Votespa.com is a great resource. So just remember, when you sign up to volunteer, you don't need to have all of these dates and stuff memorized in your head. We have plenty of resources to help inform your conversations with voters, and these tactics are effective. So what are the brass tacks here? What's the bottom line? The bottom line is this, folks, and we can tell you from experience. Voting by mail is safe. It is healthy. It is simple, in fact. Getting our voters signed up for vote by mail is what's going to give us a great advantage this November. Most important thing any of us can be doing right now is getting Pennsylvanians signed up to vote by mail. And moreover, it literally gives us like a strategic advantage. When you think about it, in the last couple days of a campaign known as GOTV, or the get out the vote phase, we're actually getting the votes out, the end of the campaign. You know, how we prioritize the folks we talk to is really important. And the more folks that we get signed up for vote by mail who already returned their ballot, we can take those people off our list, right? We know they voted. We can focus then on people we still need to connect with about voting, folks that didn't use vote by mail. So literally, the work we do early now to get folks signed up for vote by mail makes our get out the vote efforts in November even more efficient. BBM literally helps us be more efficient. So up to and on election day itself, we're going to be the most efficient program that we can be. That's a lot of information. Thanks for hanging in there. Really important information. And we are curious, what is something new that you've learned tonight about vote by mail? It's a lot of information. Is it new in PA? Is it that vote by mail is easy, that it's simple? What's something new that you learned? Please put it in the chat box. If you're on Facebook, please put it in the Facebook comments. What's something new that you learned? Yes, it is new in PA. And a lot of states are like, used to vote by mail, it is new here, absolutely. The deadline, we have folks remembering the deadlines. You are memorizing all this info. You don't have to, we'll give you the resources. But that's phenomenal. It is new, it is important, it is a critical thing that will help us have an edge on Trump in November. And we're so grateful to have your help with this fight. So we hope this has been helpful. I will kick it back to you, Megan. And before that, I want to give a quick update about organizing together. Our organization, from the beginning, has been about bringing people together from the progressive world. Lots of you are here for that reason, right? And we have always been focused about defeating Donald Trump's agenda, right? From the beginning, we wanted to hold him accountable until the Democratic nominee was ready to move into more direct electoral work. And we are ready for that transition now. We've been working really hard, but we're ready for that transition. And so, what are the next steps for you? Next steps, please sign up to volunteer with the PA Dems. And you can see the link on the bottom there, bit.ly/VSAPA. Sign up and volunteer with the PA Dems. You are also invited to our Juneteenth celebration, which will be tomorrow. It's going to be amazing. So please, please, please sign up for that. We also will be having the final Adopt a State training on Thursday at 8 o'clock Eastern time. And we are going to be joined by another very, very special guest, another Obama White House alum. That is going to be Dan Pfeiffer. So it's going to be amazing. It's kind of sad that that's the last one, but in a way, it's also really exciting because we get to be joined by Dan Pfeiffer as well. So we really appreciate you being a part of this. Thank you so much. Let's do the work now so that we have the advantage in November. And by the way, we'll follow up with communication so that everyone has these links. But thank you for being a part of this. Thank you so much. And I will kick it back to you, Megan.
Thank you, Alfred. Now we are so excited to hear from one of Pennsylvania's strongest advocates. It is my pleasure to introduce our U.S. Representative, Madeleine Dean. Congress Madeleine Dean was born and raised in Glenside, Pennsylvania. Congresswoman Dean spent 6.5 years in the legislature in Harrisburg, where she was known as an outspoken champion of public education and more. In Congress, Madeleine is focused on decency and the common good. That means working hard to address issues that affect Americans deeply. As Congresswoman Dean is speaking, we would love for you to be able to ask her questions, so be sure to throw those in the Q&A box in the Zoom. Folks on Facebook, you can write them in the comments and we'll grab them there as well. Welcome, Representative Dean.
Good evening, can you hear me?
We've got you.
Oh, great. And I have tried to do this. I apologize, I'm traveling, so I've tried to do the Zoom video by phone. I don't know if that worked. Do you have my video?
You're perfect. We've got your video, we've got your sound.
Oh, wonderful. Oh, great. Well, I'm pleased to be with you. Thank you for including me in tonight's program. I'm driving from Washington home, and so I'm really delighted with the organizing that you are doing and how important it is. I think what you'd like me to talk to you a little bit about is the importance of Pennsylvania. And I know something about that because I had the real honor of serving in the Pennsylvania legislature for 6.5 years before going to Congress in this last election cycle in 2018. Pennsylvania is a critical state, as you well know. If you remember, in 2016, Hillary lost, or I guess Donald Trump won by only 44,000 votes of 6 million votes cast. It was a stunning mistake on Pennsylvania's part in not turning out the vote, taking advantage of the energy of volunteers to make sure that everybody got out to vote. I served in the Pennsylvania legislature. Democrats were always in the minority in the time I was there. This election cycle, we actually think we're going to be able to change that. So this election matters from the top to the bottom. I'm very excited that all of this organizing and that John Lovett has adopted Pennsylvania, or Pennsylvania adopted John Lovett. I'm not sure which way this works, but every vote counts. I had the chance to get involved in politics at a very young age. At 18, I was asked to run for my very first office, which was as a committee person. And I had a campaign. I was running against an incumbent. It was absolutely ridiculous. And I beat the incumbent by a little grassroots campaign going door to door with my own little homemade leaflet. And I always say politics was very good to me because it was right after that I met my now husband of 36 years, PJ Canan. We met, he was a newly elected committeeman, I a newly elected committee woman, and from that, the rest is good history. But after that, I went on to law school and get married, raising a family, three boys, the eldest of which is a colleague of some of the stars of these podcasts. And I always knew I wanted to get into public service. So I didn't do it until I was 50. Ran first for township commissioner and won, then ran for state representative, won, and served for 6.5 years, caring deeply about things like gun violence, the environment, education, and much more, and ethics and good government, which we sorely need. And now this chance to serve. All I can say is every single vote counts. Let us not have a 2016 disappointment. Joe Biden is a favorite son, of course, in Pennsylvania, and I think we're going to be the Keystone State again and bring home a very big win for Democrats up and down the ballot.
Thank you so much, Congresswoman. I will say this, that we've gotten an opportunity to spend several days together over the last few weeks. And we just want to say how proud we are of you, how thankful we are for your dedication. We are hoping that you will spend a few extra minutes with us and we'll take some questions. We have been really tracking questions from those who have joined us on Zoom as well as Facebook. So do you have a few minutes to take a few questions with us? I'm gonna take that.
I'd be delighted this time. Yes, absolutely.
So one of the first questions we got, Congresswoman Dean, is that there is a individual who has joined us tonight who said that they've never volunteered before for a campaign. So this is their first time. And what advice do you have for someone who has not ever done this before? How to get involved? How can they help make sure that we defeat Donald Trump and his agenda this fall?
Oh, well, whoever that smart person is, you've taken the right first step by simply raising your hand and saying, I want to help. I'll help in any way I can. When I was elected a committee woman, I didn't really know what that was. Turns out it was a volunteer. It was a worker bee of the party to work on campaigns to help, whether it was go door knocking. Obviously, in a pandemic, we're having a problem with that version of campaigning. But organizing, phone banking, now with word out about a qualified candidate who wants to serve and do the right thing. The other thing I'll say to the person who's jumping in for the first time, I don't know your age, but I have met people who jumped in young like me, and in this last couple of years, I've met people, women in particular, who got in their 70s and said, I have never worked on a campaign before, but I must do something. I must do anything I possibly can. And you know what happens? They fall in love with it because of the people you meet, the issues you're working on, the public service that you are trying to promote. I just tell you, you're going to absolutely love it, and the people you will meet will be phenomenal.
Wonderful, wonderful. Another question we have this evening is someone has mentioned that we seem to be at a turning point in our nation's history. If you could sum up where you would like to see us from a year from now, what would that be for you, Congresswoman?
Oh my, what a dream wish list. And I'm looking at the beautiful and heartbreaking backdrop that you have posted, and I'm very mindful of that. What a time we are in. Who would have thought that we would have a pandemic and economic crisis and this extraordinary civil rights moment? We are at a crossroads in our country, and Donald Trump is a big part of our problem, but he's not the only problem. 1 year from now, what do I hope? I hope that good people who have raised their hand and are running hard right now will be brought into office to serve, and that they will serve with decency and honor, and that they'll be serving other people, not serving themselves. Some of the things that we have suffered as a result of Donald Trump's election is such division in our country. And so we're not able to handle the triple crises that we are facing at this time as well as we might. So I hope in a year from now, we will be very proud to say that Vice President Joe Biden is now our president, that he will surround himself with extraordinarily good, diverse, talented, hardworking people, that we will keep the majority in Congress and grow it. I'm a vice chair of DCCC, so we're trying to grow our majority. I hope we get the Senate, because if those three things happen, think of the repair that we can do. I think of the expression tikkun olam, repair the world. We can repair the broken relationships that are our relationships around the world. We can repair the broken agreements, whether it's on climate, WHO, peace treaties, trade. We can repair our communities through recognition of systemic racism, and police reform is only one step. We can pass budgets that will actually invest in our communities and make sure everybody gets a fair shot at the economy and housing and education and the rest. And I care an awful lot about gun violence and the opioid epidemic. So I hope this time a year from now, we've taken really sensible steps to recognizing the opioid epidemic as a problem of disease, not a problem of criminals or moral failure, and that we do something about the extraordinary gun violence in our country. Those are my dreams.
I share those sentiments, Congresswoman. I think you brought up an excellent point and really a segue to our next question. This next question says, as we think about 2020 and what it will take to defeat Donald Trump and his agenda, we hear a lot about the role of young people, of communities of color, of people who are sometimes left out of political conversations. As a leader, what do you think it will take to bring people together? How do we organize together?
You know what? I'm already seeing it. I wonder if you're feeling the same way I am. When George Floyd was murdered in such a depraved way, with a police officer with his knee to the neck of a grown man, 3 other officers participating for 8 minutes and 46 seconds as he begged for breath and begged for his mother. I don't know about you, but in the days following that, I felt despair. And I'm a very optimistic person. I seldom get down. But that despair has turned to such optimism and hope because of the rallies that I've been a part of, the protests that I've been a part of. This is not just a Black person's fight. When I'm at these rallies, you've seen how beautifully diverse they are. It means white women, middle-aged white women like me. It means people of every age and every color. And across my district, That's what I have seen in areas that are more classically Republican. I'm seeing diverse crowds of peaceful people saying enough is enough. We now know and recognize that racism is systemic in our country. So the optimism I feel is from the crowds that we're seeing around the country and around the world. This is a civil rights moment. I serve on the Judiciary Committee, so just yesterday, we had an 11-hour markup on the George Floyd Justice in Policing bill. That is a bill decades in the birthing, but sadly it took his death to wake everybody up. So I do have some optimism, and what you can do is be persistent. The peaceful protests matter. Speaking up matters. Recognizing racism matters. I've been so proud of the young people. I've been on conference calls, Zoom calls with high school students who, of every color, who have just said, it may be uncomfortable, but I have to say to my white friend, what you just said is unacceptable. It's racist. Don't you see the racism in what you're doing? So I think it is just a persistence and an awareness that we all have to be in this fight.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I appreciate your words and all of your dedication and commitment to making sure that we are continuing to shine light on the injustices and your continued commitment to fight for justice. Our next question from an audience member is in regards to our recent primary election. This individual is asking Representative Dean, what state officials or those who were have primary victories are you most excited about just recently?
Well, I'm very happy to tell you I had a primary victory. I'm very happy about that. So I thank folks.
We're so excited with you.
Now, I did not have an opponent, so my husband thinks it's not quite so impressive. But now I'm very, very proud to have obviously gotten on the ballot run and won my own primary. But we have some other folks who are running in other congressional seats that I'm very excited about, some other Democratic possible pickups. Eugene DePasquale, I used to serve with him in the Pennsylvania House years ago. He's running in the York seat, and I think he will do very well. It's a tougher seat by demographics, but I think and hope and pray he will do very well. Christine Finello is running in the Bucks County seat. That is PA 1. I'm very excited about that. You just saw Nina Ahmad won the primary for Auditor General. I'm excited about that. And then, as I was telling you, I'm working at the state level also. And so we have some folks who, in Pennsylvania in the House, we need to pick up only 9 seats. It's a 203-member House. We need only 9 seats to get the majority. And what a difference that will make if we could get a majority in the House and begin to pass legislation that models our values, the things that we are talking about, whether it's civil rights or women's rights, protecting our planet, educating our kids, all of those things. So I'm very excited about a number of folks who have won their primaries, Democrats in both the State House and State Senate, that I hope will move forward and wind up serving in the majority.
I am with you. I think when we talk about an opportunity to defeat Donald Trump and his agenda, and we're looking at the top of the ticket, but we have to make sure that we're turning PA blue from the top of the ticket down. We know that every election is important. So I just have one final question for you. I want to ask you if you could tell me what your favorite snack is on the campaign trail. We're dying to know.
You're kidding. My favorite snack?
Your favorite snack. What is it?
I try not to snack. But
no, tell me that.
All right.
Oh, yogurt.
I'm going to give you 2. Yogurt is a favorite. I do like yogurt. It's just a staple. But I like black jelly beans, which is not a good move because then your teeth are black. However, I like black jelly beans.
Wow. I like jelly beans as well. I would have never guessed that. I appreciate your honesty and transparency, and it looks like there's confirmation in the car with you. So I just want to say thank you.
My husband.
I want to say thank you so much for taking this time. Thank you for all of your hard work, your dedication, and your commitment to making sure that we're well represented in Washington. Thank you so much, Congresswoman. I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful evening.
Can I say thanks back to you?
Absolutely.
The greater thanks goes to you, the organizing you're doing, the volunteers you're bringing, and it's so worthwhile. You're just going to be lifted up by all the folks that you are working with. I know you already feel that, and I hope you'll call upon me if I can continue to help in any way.
You know what? The same goes back to you. Anything that we can do to support your work, we want to make sure you're on board. We're here to organize together.
Terrific. Godspeed.
Have a wonderful night.
Thank you. Good night.
Here we go.
Hey everybody, it's me again. We are almost ready for John Lovett, and what I'm going to do is introduce our incredible organizer from Delco and Chester, Ife, who you're going to get to know when John Lovett records his podcast segment. We love developing relationships with people, and we're going to put Ife in the hot seat for a second. So Ife, tell us, what's the hardest part about working virtually for you, or the easiest?
The hardest, I would say having to get ready, but only at the top, because I like to have a full, nice outfit, and to only be able to show people the top of my outfit makes me sad. I know that seems very vain, but it's true.
That's totally fair. What'd you eat for breakfast today?
You really thought I ate breakfast, Megan? That's so cute.
Fair. What'd you eat for lunch?
I had a Baja bowl from a smoothie place. It's pretty good.
So what's your take on people calling things salad bowls and yogurt bowls? Why can't we just call it like a yogurt, a salad?
Because it's not just the yogurt or the salad, it's like a bowl experience. I feel like the bowl is the experience, you know? And so if you go to Panera, they have like a green bowl, and it's not just like salad, and it's quinoa, it's tomatoes, it's onions, everything, you know?
Yeah, that's totally fair. Ife, gotta know, what are you watching on TV right now? I also want to hear from you in the chat box and on Facebook.
Oh yeah, everyone put your TV recommendations in the chat box. Right now, I'm watching Insecure, which
Oh, Ife, we might have lost you. But in the chat box, folks are watching Dear White People, Babylon Berlin, Insecure, Russian Doll, Miss America. I actually am watching Miss America for the second time, which is maybe embarrassing, but also just like kind of tells you about who I am. West Wing, oh my gosh, what's next? Ife, do we have you back now?
yes, I think we do.
Perfect. So have you gotten into any new hobbies in your quarantine?
The only hobby I've gone into, I would say, is I'm going to start weightlifting tomorrow. So I haven't begun it yet, but tomorrow I'm going to begin my new hobby, yes.
And Ife, so similarly, in my quarantine, I've been reading a lot of things about how to maybe be a better person. And just so you know, it takes 21 days to make a habit. So I'll talk to you in 21 days.
Okay.
Yeah, and you can tell me how the weightlifting is going.
I will. It's probably going to be doing really bad because I'm not a big fan of exercise.
Yeah, but you know, it's we just like gotta do it. Gotta work on our heart health, and you know.
Yes, get some curves, you know.
Yeah, probably.
Thank you, everyone who's encouraging me. Wow.
Yeah, I know. We have such supportive folks.
We do.
watching us across the country. Ife, I know that you said that you're not a huge breakfast person, but are you more of like a tea or a coffee person? Like, what kind of hot drinks do you like?
I love tea. I'm a big person. Coffee just runs through you. It's a little uncomfortable, but tea is just so delightful, refreshing. I like oolong. Any oolong fans out there? Hello.
Looks like we definitely do. Wow, we now have John Lovett with us, who is here to talk about Pennsylvania, maybe sort of reclaim some dignity after the 2018 issue, and talk to us about
Excuse me. Listen, it wasn't my job. No one can take your dignity without your consent. I was encouraging the state of Pennsylvania. Now, for those of you, I don't know if you're familiar, but I did issue a challenge to the state of Pennsylvania because the state of Pennsylvania did let us down in 2016, but you stepped it up in 2018. All right. You answered the call, but now, all right, now is the real, this is it. This is the main event. Okay. Now, I obviously have taken some heat, all right, for my comments about Pennsylvania, all right, disappointing those of us who knew and understood we needed to win. But that said, I hope it is appreciated, Megan, that I have adopted this state, all right? All right? It's you, I'm gritty. I'm all gritty right beneath the surface. That's it. I'm gritty wearing a human suit, all right? That's how committed.
And Gritty is iconic, as we all know. I think that he is also committed to turning Pennsylvania blue this year.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Great. So John, we've got Ife here tonight. She's one of our organizers in Chester County and Delaware County, which is in southeastern Pennsylvania, the collar counties, if you will.
Yes, exactly. Hi, John.
Hi, Ife.
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you so much for doing this. So obviously, you know, look, I'm so glad you're able to, I know this session has been a chance to really learn about how to make sure we organize Pennsylvania, that we win Pennsylvania, even though we're obviously on Zoom, we're not in person, things have changed. And so we're tackling basically this huge challenge of winning while at the same time dealing with this incredible, difficult job of organizing when we can't always be together. Because it's so important that we win in Pennsylvania, we really do want to put you to the test on behalf of your fellow organizers to make sure you're ready for some of the local issues that may come up as you try to get everybody ready to make sure they can vote, whether it's in person, vote by mail, or what have you. All right, Ife, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. First question. You've just filled your buggy at the Wawa with hoagies when the cashier calls you a yinzer. He says your buggy needs to be washed because you got hoagie juice all over it. I don't even understand that. He also mentioned he doesn't know if he's registered to vote yet. Ife, what do you do?
So first of all, get some soap for the hoagie juice, and then you tell him that he can go online, go to the PA voter website, and see where he can vote, where he can register. He can also track his voter registration so he can stay up to date with where application is, if it's coming to his house, if he's already sent it, if the state has gotten it yet, and all that fun stuff. So that's what I would do.
That sounds right to me. You're the experts. I'm here to ask the questions, but you all know the answers. All right, next question. All right. You're in Lancaster. It's funnel cake season, but no street fairs are open. So you settle for takeout whoopie pie from the Green Dragon. You get stuck behind a crowd of antiquers while walking to pick it up, and you overhear one of the women say she's not sure if she got her mail-in ballot yet, but that's a whole nother issue. How do you interject?
I say, hey lady, you're not sure if you got your mail-in ballot yet? Call this number, one of our lovely people in the chat, and you can find out what the status of the ballot is. You can also check online, and they email that to you right after you use the application.
My next question, follow up. When is it not funnel cake season?
It's year-round, so it's never not funnel season.
All right. Next question. What if someone tells you they lost their mail-in ballot, specifically that the Philly fanatic stole it? He waddled up, snatched it right out of their hands, then danced around like a fucking asshole.
Oh, okay.
Before you answer, Ife,
I'm listening.
We already tried reasoning with the fanatic. but it got us nowhere.
Okay. Well, the fanatic doesn't reason. I don't know why you tried to do that. But what you do is you can tell him he can. Wait, what was the question?
Honestly, does it even matter?
No, it really doesn't.
It was that they stole the mail-in ballot. How do you get a replacement?
Oh, right. So what they can fill out a provisional ballot. In the meantime, I'll track down his, because are we really sure that he stole it, or is that just a accusation? We don't want to give that, he's us, so we're not just going to accuse him.
I'm also appreciating the comment that someone said you got to put gritty on it.
What is gritty gonna do? Eat him?
You know what? I think so. I think when you put gritty on it, you kind of don't want to ask too many questions.
Right.
Next question. What happens if someone does a write-in vote for John? What does that count for? What happens?
So when you do a write-in vote and you just put a random name, it's counted. So John will be, that vote will go towards him, but it's like, who is John? We don't know. So you really did it just to all the Johns are now in the running for whatever the election is.
Final question. All right. You're in Lancaster County and you want a lo-fi way to reach Amish voters. What do you do?
Morse code.
Morse code.
Yes.
I don't know that works, but I love the enthusiasm and I love the confidence behind it. Ife,
John, this has been lovely.
Stuff. You've won the game. All right.
Wow.
Someone suggested, by the way, heart to heart over a butter churn, or find them at a roadside farm stand. These are also good options.
Oh, beautiful ideas.
And don't require both you and they to learn Morse code.
Right.
Something to think about. Well, you've won. Thank you so much for participating. Thank you to everybody. What did you win? Such a good question. A sense of accomplishment, a realization that you're ready to tackle the most important election of our lifetime, something we say every 4 years, but this time we really mean. The incredible recognition of everybody watching, all right? And maybe a gift card. I think we can probably mail you a gift card. I don't know.
I know. Can I get a parachute card or anything? Like,
we'll
just
work on it.
sponsors?
We'll work on it.
Okay, cool.
This is what organizing is, all right? You're pushing,
right.
All right? And I respect the hell out of it. So thank you all so much. Thank you for being part of this organization, for being part of this organizing effort. So grateful. It's so inspiring. It's so important. We have the chance to make sure that, as you did in 2018, you proved me wrong, all right, when I was disappointed in 2016. I feel like you're ready. Megan, do you forgive me? Am I forgiven?
So actually, John, I'm like a little bit medium on that, because most of your questions favored the eastern side of the state, and already Philly on the eastern side gets lots of love, maybe because it's closer. Wait, I'm not done. Closer to DC, so on and so forth. So we have. So you can defend yourself for 1 second, then I have a follow-up.
I will ask Ife will get one last question. All right. Here's
and then I get one last question.
Okay, fine, fair enough. Here's the question. Someone hands you a sandwich that has French fries in the sandwich, okay, and tells you that they want to vote in person but aren't sure where. What do you do?
Told them that they can also look up their voting booth. That information is also available on the PA voting website. Then you point them directly to probably like a church or a school, because that's usually where that stuff is happening. So yeah.
I think also it is important that you say, can I please have half of that Permanente sandwich, because a sandwich with French fries in it is a true and genuine innovation and success that speaks to what the western edge of Pennsylvania brings. All right, Megan?
What they stand for, exactly.
Am I okay now? Did I do okay?
Yeah, you did. So I've got a follow-up for you. Thought we would maybe turn this around a little bit.
Okay,
John, are you listening carefully?
Yes.
Great. So could you please rank these Pennsylvania specialties in order of your favorite? We've got.
Okay, I want to make sure I write them down. I want to get this right.
I love a note taker. Man after my own heart. I love it.
Mm-hmm.
Are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Cheesesteaks.
Mm-hmm.
Tasty cakes. Put your favorite tasty cake in the chat box. Fries on sandwiches. Rocky Balboa, Benjamin Franklin, and the discovery of electricity. Those are your 6 things.
Wow, what a funny group of things to rank. All right. Here's my order. Let me think about this. Fries on sandwiches, number 1. Not the invention of it and it being morally acceptable. Okay, it being culturally valid and not making you seem like a dumpster person. All right, who is gross. That it's allowed is the achievement. Not that they did it, is that it's allowed. That's 1. 2, Rocky Balboa. 3, cheesesteaks. 4, electricity. 5, Benjamin Franklin. Then tasty cakes. I'm sorry, that's my order. And that's my subjective view that can't really be argued with because it's how I feel.
Yeah, and in the same vein of how you started, I can't take away your subjective view without you giving me permission to take away your subjective view. So I think we're even here.
Wow. Okay. Wow. This is the kind of tense energy that I was hoping for in Pennsylvania. And again, I adopted Pennsylvania. I consider myself one of you now. All right. Not something I said to Florida. Not something I said to Michigan. All right. Not something I said to Wisconsin or North Carolina, Arizona. All right. So thank you all so much. Thank you for being part of this effort. And let's get to work. Let's win this thing.
Thanks so much, John, and thanks so much, Ife. We're going to go ahead and end here. We'll be sure to send out the links, so make sure that you're RSVP'd for our training next week and the events that we have going on in Pennsylvania all this weekend. Thank you so much, everybody. Thanks for adopting Pennsylvania. Let's go win this thing. Good night.